I had been incarcerated at a period of time, almost 17 years. And mind you, I went all the way to United States Supreme Court on my case, exhausted all my remedies. So I was in limbo, but I was still programming. I was doing what I needed to do to come home. But law started changing. So once laws started changing due to the 3 strikes law, that's when I knew I needed representation. Well, me and my family, we started researching. And as we researched, we needed somebody that would represent me due to being a 3-striker, but I knew that conduct was my best friend. And I knew that I had been programming, and I knew I deserved to come home. So that's when me and my family really started looking for representation, and that's when we found Matthew Barhoma. That's when we found you.
I did hear about a young man named Matthew. So that was really a good feeling, hearing about he'll be coming home soon.
It gave the family and myself hope.
Yeah, well, after we filed the AB 2942, I thought the process was going to go faster than what it did. I had an invalid and illegal sentence due to my enhancements. They still wasn't moving forward with my case, for my case to be heard. So after a period of 6 months of waiting, it was like, I hope this is going to work. That's when we had to file a new notice to the judge to be heard. And it took for Matthew to approach the judge to say, look, we have merit, why aren't we heard, and why aren't moving forward? So once we did that, that's when, due to the hindrance of the DA, the judge had to step in and really make means to say, let's move forward with this case. No, you didn't. That's what you didn't do. You never quit on me, Matthew, which I always believed. I told you that, and you was my voice.
The process was, I talked to my brother on the phone every day, all day, and he was like, man, I'm coming home. It's a good chance I'm walking out that courtroom.
Every single time, like my whole life, it's like, oh yeah, I'm coming home. So it's like, he's not gonna lie to me. So.
Well, you hope, but your hope builds up, but you just don't know how things are really going to end, but you hope for the best.
And then when I got to court, we was waiting, and I saw his attorney, his lawyer come walking in. I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna get him out. We're gonna get him out.
The judge said, well, bring out the other, I guess, inmates, because Christopher Jones is gonna take a little while. And he pulled up his glasses and he looked at us.
It was kind of crazy seeing him. Like, he looks just like my dad, so I was like, oh my gosh, another one. But well, the situation of the court resentencing was odd because there was people who were against my father, and then there were people who were for my father. So it was like hearing both perspectives. I was just calculating how I felt about it.
I said yes. He turned around. He had his cuffs on. And he looked at all of us. He gave us all, the family, as to say he loved us. And he blew us a kiss. And then he left.
It was a great feeling because I was going to be able to meet him, like actually spend time with him, do fun things like play sports, like throw the football with him, play basketball with him.
When I got resentenced, it was like a weight dropped off of my back. Like, it was surreal, as well as, I could see my future. I could finally see my future. I thought about my kids, my family, and just the start of my new life.
I was in the valley and I was driving. He called me like, "They about to release me, man." I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm way in the valley, man." So it was like, he was like, "Man, you got 2 hours to get here." I'm like, "I'm on it." I didn't know I was gonna get my Corvette, or I don't know what car I was gonna pull up. He was like, "Just come, dog, just come."
Man, they let me go at 2 p.m. in the afternoon in a paper jumpsuit.
He got out like 10 minutes before I got there. I pull up, I rolled down the window, I was bumping Nipsey.
And we went to eat.
We went to go eat salads. Yeah, we eat kind of healthy, man.
We both found out through FaceTime. He kind of just called us in the car. Well, my dad just called us in the car and was like, "Oh, I'm free," and it was my uncle as well in the car with him because he was who picked him up, and they were just talking about everything they're gonna do, and I was just kind of just like third wheeling on the phone while they were just having a conversation. Normal to me, so yeah. They were waiting in my dad's car, and he like was like creeping behind my car, and then he was like, I was like, it was so funny, yeah, but.
Surprised my grandmother a day before her birthday.
This is one of the nicest birthdays we've had because he's home.
Corey, his brother, I was asleep. He came in, he said, "Mama." I said, "Yeah." He said, "I'm up here in Palmdale because he's, Hollywood." So he was said he was making a movie up there. He said, "But I'm going to come here and spend the night." I said, "Okay." Didn't think nothing of it because it was, late at night. He pops out behind the refrigerator.
Yeah, surprising my mom was that was 20 years in the making, man. Like it came to a time now of something that I thought about that possibly may not happen. You when you do a period of time in incarceration, during incarceration, you will think like, man, will I ever get out of here? So full circle to be with my mom that night, to embrace her, really was like, wow, like, yeah, this is surreal. This is awesome. Most definitely. This is what living is. This is living.
I really ain't kicked with my brother. I haven't hung out with my brother in like 20 years, man. It was feeling, man. It was a feeling, dude. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. It's crazy, man. Just like, you've been gone for 20 years, man. Like, I wish that on nobody, man. I have like missing out on a brother for 20 years, man. I had to go find new brothers, man. I had to go find new brothers when he left me, man. I had to go find new brothers, man.
He's doing a good job since he's been home. He's doing what is right. And he's looking for a nice job, be employed. He's got a lot of talent, but there's other things you'd like to do.
When you do a duration, a lot of time, you just getting out is just the fundamentals and essentials of getting back to living. California ID, my social, birth certificate, those type of things within the month I've been out, those are the things I've been tackling, which are small things, but are big. I became a professional dog trainer while I was incarcerated, and my love of dogs, I'm going to continue to pursue that, but I intend to do my own private, training. I'm enrolled in truck driving school, and I intend to get a trucking company once I finish. So that's something that's awesome as well. Yeah. So I've been busy. I've been really busy. Well, the case was, this was a jewelry store. It was a pawn shop. And allegedly, there was two guys that apparently went in around 9 a.m. and they robbed the establishment. The detectives went, did their research. This was a Lexus truck, they said, that this was 2002, and the truck was 2002. So they had to go to various Lexus group truck dealerships and go through and find certain paint jobs and go through VIN numbers to downsize to a certain amount of cars to investigate. So once they did that, and then there was various people that said possibly it was this guy or this guy, that's when the leads came to me and someone else. Well, my first prior was 17 years old, and I did 3 years for bank robbery. It was a bank robbery. I was the driver, and which later became a strike, which was a strike. And then later, I had an attempted burglary. An attempted burglary, it was a wobbler because it was an attempt, which should have been trespassing. But when I fought that case then in 96, it was fought as a misdemeanor wobbler but due to my prior, they trumped and made it a violent case, which became a strike, which it became a felony, yes. When it first started, I was facing 85 years of life total under the 3 strikes law. The deal was pre-trial, they offered me 25 years of life. If I would have took the 25 years of life, I wouldn't have been able to get an appeal because I would have signed off my appeal. I'd have waived my appeal. So I went to trial due to possibly I could win, but I would have my appeal. So I went to trial. Oh, it wasn't that long, possibly 2 hours. The jury deliberated like 2 hours. They gave me 25 years to life, which was automatic due to 3 strikes law, plus 2 5-year enhancements for each enhancement, plus the 1-year prison prior, which I believe ran concurrent with the 25 years to life, which gave me a total of 35 years to life. I couldn't even absorb it. It was unreal. Going through trial, me personally, is like everything slows down. It's like the Matrix. It took time. It took actually days for that to really settle in while I was incarcerated, while I was in the county jail. After the fact, like, I got a life sentence. Yeah.
So they sentenced you.
Iffy, could you grab Spider-Man for a minute? Spider-Man fighting water, right? We hear splash, splash. Yeah. One thing about CDC, they do demographic moves because they never want you to get too comfortable. So I did there a year, I was moved. I went to Lancaster. I went there a year, moved me back to Centinela. Was there 2 years again at Centinela. Then from there, I went to Calipatria. Then when I went to Calipatria, I was in a riot. I got into a riot, man. And when I got into that riot, that was life-altering.
You know, you wonder, is he eating? Is he in fights or is he in the hole? You just worry about what's going on, but it's nothing you can do as a mother. But as a child, Chris, you're going to worry about him. That's any of you, when you're a parent.
So when you're incarcerated, it's either you're going to go with the masses or you're going to really dig deep and find what's best for you. And I had to do that. For me to come home, I had to dig deep. And I had to find a solution which was best for myself, which became education. The first one I went into was criminal thinking. I took substance abuse. I took parenting. I took Gogi, which is a class where it teaches you how to breathe, kind of look back, reassess yourself. What else did I took? I took GED, Gangs Anonymous. I took various classes like that. I took many classes like that, which are considered self-help. I did a lot of self-help. I had a buddy where I was on a maximum security prison, and he was in the means of making transition with himself. So we hadn't seen each other for years. So I get to Lancaster prison, and I see him, and he walks up to me with a dog. And here's a guy had a life without, and he like, Chris, bro, I'm here, man. I can get you in a dog program. This is where you want to be, man, and you are what we need. So I thought about it, and I always loved dogs. So I said, I'm going to sign up. So I signed up, and once I got into Paws for Life, it changed my life. Yeah. Well, the program is really about, first off, it deals with sheltered dogs that's been battered and abused, and they pair them with inmates that's been incarcerated. And from there, we'll give them basic obedient training. Once we do that, we'll pair certain dogs with forever homes with various people, such as yourself. Anybody can adopt a dog. So we would tailor the dog to your needs. Coming in so young, being incarcerated so young, I didn't have patience, and I was impulsive. So working with dogs, it really allowed me to really look within myself and really just slow down and breathe, you know, and pay attention to things that's around me. So being with the dogs, I help them, but they help me as well, you know?
I talked to him on the phone about what he would do when he came home. He would get a job, go to work, and go to church, and pick his friends.
Sometimes Chris would call me and I didn't know the number, but then he would get a hold of my daughter and tell my daughter that he's gonna be calling me. And Chrissy Pooh would always send a card to my grandmother and my mom with his handprint. And he would send it to my grandmother. And my grandmother still to this day have it in her Bible. Yeah.
I mean, it's normal to me having a relationship with my dad while he's incarcerated. It was just like, I mean, I have a stepfather, so it wasn't like I didn't have a father figure in my life or anything to look up to, but
Yeah, he did what he could.
My father, he definitely made sure that his presence was felt. Like, he didn't make it seem like I was just abandoned or I didn't have a dad or, you know?
Man, I wish Chris, man, fulfill all his businesses that he want to do, because I know he's going to do it. I just wish he had an opportunity to do that when he was a little bit younger, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But yeah, he's still young. He going to get it.
I'm looking forward to building a lot more memories with him. Spending a lot of money and going on a lot of vacations, of course, but like, you know, just making memories and enjoying his presence, I guess.
I wish for him, whatever he feels that he missed out on, that he can fulfill it.
Now we can have our family get-togethers, Christmas. We have a big Christmas. Our family is very into Christmas, so that's our biggest thing is Christmas. Yeah, so we're looking forward to that, and his birthdays. Yeah, and then one day I like to see him be a grandpa one day. Yeah.
I feel due to I was released at 20 years and I had a 35-year to life sentence. For me to, if I would have had to continue that sentence, like me doing time, I think about my family. Within my whole time, I always thought about my family. So it was like the things I could have lost and things I wouldn't have been able to come home to, such as my mom. My grandmother's 102. I was blessed to come a day before her birthday to see her. So those are things that I knew, like, if I would have had to do a remainder of 15 years, the things I would have lost.
It feels like a void is filled. I don't know how to explain this, like, I don't know. You know how you get in the car and it's just like something's missing, like something's right, like my steering wheel isn't adjusted right or something, you know?
Like my seat is off.
Yeah, like something is off, but now it's just like, you know, cordial, everything's normal.
Was a puzzle missing in our family, and then the puzzle got fitted right in, and it was Chrissy Pooh.